Hi there, how are you? My name is Lynsey Hanratty and I am a business coach for people who work in the wellness, health and fitness industries. And I've been working with wellness practitioners now for over 2.5 years. And before that was working as a life coach and a career coach. So I have been working in coaching for almost a decade now. And what I love about dealing with people in business is helping them through their resilience, helping them with their mindset, helping them develop businesses and strategies for their businesses that really help them to move to the next level and create the business and life that they want. And as you can hear from my accent, I'm based here in Ireland. I'm Irish and I work mainly with people in Ireland and the UK, and was lucky enough to meet the lovely Danny in Manchester, who asked me to do some modules for her upcoming yoga retreat based around helping people, yoga teachers in particular, in the wellness industry who are trying to build their businesses, and give them some tips and help on how to do that. So I've created some modules on Danny's behalf to provide for you, and hopefully these will help you to get the basics right in your wellness business, because often if the basics aren't right, it's hard to build on a rocky foundation. So today we're going to talk about identifying your ideal client. And this is a really important one, because if you don't know who you're marketing to, if you don't know who your ideal client is, it's very hard to be able to attract those people to your businesses, as well as actually knowing who they are and why you want to work with them. So identifying your ideal client when you're starting out in business is very important, because you can really focus in on the people that you resonate with, that you like to work with, and that speak to you in terms of you moving things to the next level in your business, as well as serving them as best you can. So it's also important to remember that you're an entrepreneur. And this can be difficult for people in the wellness industry, because they tend to say to me, I'm a yoga teacher, or I'm an acupuncturist, or I'm a reflexologist. But what they also forget to say is, I'm a yoga teacher and entrepreneur. So you are in the business of creating a business. So you need to be focusing and have a business head on you, as well as doing all of the other things that make you the best yoga teacher you can be, that can make you the best reflexologist or acupuncturist, or whatever your modality is. But it's really, really important to identify who your ideal client is and who they are and why you want to work with them. So let's move on. So today's discussion points are going to be around things like, who do you want to work with? We're also going to talk about the definitions that you need to identify your ideal client. So this would be around your target market, your niche, the people that you want to work with. And then we look at visualizing your ideal paying client. And I make this distinction because your ideal paying client has to be the person that, number one, you want to work with, but number two, can afford the things that you have to offer them as well. Because sometimes if our ideal client doesn't have the money to work with us, we need to look at ways that we can serve them in a different way, or to slightly change the client that we are seeking to help serve in our businesses. Then we'll talk about ways to get in front of your ideal paying client, and we will also ask 5 questions that you need to ask to identify your ideal client as well. So as Marie Forleo says, if you're talking to everyone, you're talking to no one. And for those of you who don't know who Marie is, she is the #1 life coach in the US. And you should really check out her videos. She does some great work around mindset, productivity, and all that good stuff. But she is right, because if you're talking to everybody, you're talking to nobody. So be sure to know who it is that you are speaking to, because when you have an ideal client in mind, it makes your marketing easier, it makes the work that you do a lot easier, and it means that you are focusing on speaking to one person. And that's really important as well, that you are speaking to a particular person when you are creating your marketing and your messaging around what you do and how you do it. So let's have a look at some definitions as well. So the first definition there is target market, and this is the general group of people who may be interested in your products or services. And this is the group that that you are aiming to speak to. They may be a sort of a broad group of people. They could be working mothers, they could be women going through the menopause, they could be stressed out corporates. So it's the general group of people who may be interested in your products or services. And then you move from there onto your niche, and your niche is the service you specialize in offering to your target market. So they're a subsection of your target market. So maybe your target market is working mothers. Your niche would be working mothers who are just after having their first baby, or working mothers who have 3 or more kids and are very stressed out. So your niche is always a subsection of your target market, and these are people that you might have a very specialized service to provide. And then your ideal client is that client that you just love to work with, the dream client, the people that you really, the one person that you can think of that you really love working with and that really resonates with your work values. And, they could be clients who are really committed to what you do. They could be clients who are happy to follow everything you say to the letter in terms of how you can help them. They could be clients that are suffering from a particular ailment that you have a speciality in. So it really is important to identify these different groups and, really drill down into who it is you are planning to target your services to. So when we're visualizing our ideal paying client, we really have to identify who they are. Who are the people that we really want to work with? And what is it about them that we really want, we really know why we want to work with them. So really having a good, clear vision on the reasons why we want to work with them. Do we come from a similar background to them? Are they people who, have the money to pay for our services as well, which is also very important. So we really want to be able to visualize them with the following questions and queries. So who do you want to work with? So, we have to identify areas like the products and services we provide. What kind of products and services can you provide for your ideal paying client? So what do you have at the moment in your arsenal that you are providing or could develop further to attract your ideal paying client? And those favorite clients, who are those favorite clients you love to work with? And maybe who are your current favorite clients and why are they your favorite clients? What is it about them? What characteristics do they have that you really, want you want to work more with them? And then start with your why as well. And I know some people might know the Simon Sinek video, Start With Why, where he says, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. So why do you do what you do? And why do you love working with those particular clients? What is it about them? What is it about their values or their characteristics that they have that you like so much? So they could be people that are similar to you. They could be people who, as I say, have a particular ailment or issue that you can help them with. They might have back pain, they might have other musculoskeletal injuries or, dietary requirements or whatever it is. What is it about these people that really you want to attract more of these kind of people to you? And then we look at problem solving. So what problem are you solving for your ideal paying client? How are you making things better for them in their lives? So you really have to think of the problems that they have and what aspect of that problem can you solve for them? Can you solve the entire problem, or can you help them with stress relief, or can you help them with particular problems they might have within their skeletal system or their bodies, or a chronic problem that they have? What is it that you are making better for them in their daily lives? So then we look at brainstorming the problem. So we have to ask ourselves, or you need to ask yourself, what is the particular problem that you're trying to solve for your client? So looking at the problems that your ideal paying client has is the first step to defining who you serve and where you can find them. And once you've defined the main problem that your products and services solve, you need to dig deep and think about the people that you're trying to help. What fears and worries do they have? What is keeping them awake at night time? How can your services help them further? What is it about your services that will really make them stand to attention and go, oh, I really need to speak to this person, or I really need to contact this person and really get them to help me to develop and to have an answer to my problem straight away. So think about the fears and worries that they have, and what way can you help them to create a solution to that? And really picture them. This is a list of things that I like to ask people to really focus on when they're thinking about their ideal client. So what age is your ideal client? What gender is your ideal client? And where do they live? What location are they in? Are they married or single? What sort of job do they have? What kind of income level do they have? Again, we're looking at ideal paying clients, so you need to have clients that have the money to work with you. What work values do they have? What do they value most about the work that they do? What personal values do they have? Do they have kids? Do they have pets? What sort of hobbies do they have? What kind of blogs do they read? What books do they read? What newspapers do they read? What sort of television do they watch? Are they binge watching Netflix, or are they watching documentaries? What is it that they love to watch? And where are they hanging out online? So where would you find these people? If you were looking for your ideal client, where would they be hanging out in the online world? And what experts in your area do they follow? Is there a particular guru or expert that they follow in your field that they would be interested in? What's their dream job? What sort of lifestyle do they have? What transformation are they looking for in their lifestyles? So what transformation they're looking for that you can help them with? What's triggering them at the moment? Like, what is it that's either keeping them thinking about something, a problem that they're having, or what's keeping them awake at night? What happens if they stay stuck in their current situation and they don't get the help that they need? What is it about your services that they really need at the moment? And if they stay stuck, what sort of lifestyle are they going to have in a couple of years' time, if they have a chronic injury? Or if they continue the stress levels they have, or whatever it is that's keeping them stuck. What are they afraid of? What are their fears? What is it about your services that can really alleviate any sort of fears or insecurities that they might be having? So you need to really, really step into their shoes and see it from their perspective, both before they work with you and after they work with you. So what is their before picture? What is it that is happening to them before they come to you for the help that they need with your services? And then the after, what does life look like for them now? What changes have they had in their lives since they started working with you? What is the transformation for them? What are their passions and dreams that you can help bring to life? So what things can you help them with? So it could be better health. It could be alleviation of a long-term chronic injury. It could be a better diet. It could be alleviation of lots of different ailments because they've changed their nutrition, or they've gone gluten-free, or whatever it might be. What passions and dreams of theirs can you help bring to life and make big changes for them? And then what particular attributes do they have that make them your star customer? So what is it about them that make them an ideal paying client for you, a star customer? And really focus on what it is that you can help them with, and what attributes do they have that you want to work with these people because they have these particular type of characteristics. So how to get in front of your ideal client. So we need to find out where your ideal client is, both online and offline. So where are they hanging out? So one of the things I often say to my clients is local before global. So I always tell people to start in their own communities because it is really important to begin in your own community. So if you are a service-based business, you need to start building your business locally. So most people in the wellness industry will have clients who are coming to them from their locality. So you need to find local people to use your services and products that will provide you with the credibility and authority in your local area that you can build on further afield or perhaps even online. So things that you can do locally that will really help you are things like sponsoring a local school event or a sporting event or perhaps a local wellness event. You can also network at local events to meet prospective clients in your area. So networking, I find, is a really important thing, especially if you're trying to develop your business locally. You really need to get to know the local players in your area. Who are the people of influence in your area? And really tap into the locality and what happens in your area. So for example, you might live in a city, you might live in a rural area, but you might need to find the key players in those areas. And there's always a networking opportunity. There's always chances to talk to new people. And as I say, meet prospective clients at local events that might be happening in your area. And then you could also ask to speak at local events about your products and services. So you could find mother and baby groups, local women's networking events or Chamber of Commerce networking events or wellness events and local fairs that might be, in your locality, in your area, and you can speak at those. And then there's the social listening. So really to look and identify where your ideal client is hanging out online. And again, you want to find out a little bit more about the people who are currently looking for your products and services. So a good way to do this is to, I suppose, eavesdrop on social media conversations. And again, when you're looking at joining groups on Facebook and LinkedIn to see who's asking questions and what kind of questions that they're asking is a great way to listen to your ideal client. So if you have a specific target audience in mind, say again working mothers or people, women going through the menopause, you might join some of these types of groups online and ask questions in those groups if they're allowed to be asked, or join forums on LinkedIn and really listen to the things that they're saying and maybe ask them about the challenges that they're having if you're allowed to put up questions, or perhaps you have an opportunity to provide something for free and you can get people, get good generation of leads that way as well. But it is a really good way to find out what kind of problems that people are having and, be of help to them in those kinds of situations, give them some helpful tips, give them some guidelines. And, it's a good way to find out, is there a product or a service that you could develop from listening to the people online that would work best in your locality as well? Or could you create something? And this will also give you a good idea of where your target audience is hanging out online. So you can find these groups and forums on Facebook and LinkedIn. You can check out hashtags on Twitter and Instagram, and you can find out where your ideal audience is hanging out. So a good tip that I like to give is every quarter to every 90 days to identify 5 groups on the particular social media platforms that you think your ideal client will be on. Identify those groups and ask to join them, or if they're free ones that you don't need to join directly. Just find out what people are asking in those and be of service to people in those groups as well. If you feel you can help them with a query or a challenge that they're having, do feel free to give them some information that could help them move forward with their own wellness. So again, online, where do they hang out? So finding ideal clients online can be a bit hit and miss, but if you know who your ideal client is really well, you can make either an educated guess or more of a researched guess as to where they'll be hanging out online. So a lot of it will depend on the age and demographic of your client. So where do they live? Are they married? Do they have children? What's their occupation? So those kind of common demographic examples, what their annual income is, what education level they're at. Depending on that, you'll be able to research how likely they are to be on things like Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn, and also what groups they might be involved in online. So take a couple of hours if you can, an afternoon or an evening, to do a little bit of research around this and really identify where your ideal client would be every month. And as I said earlier, as part of your sales strategy every month, you should join 5 different groups on Facebook or find relevant hashtags on Twitter or Instagram to see what questions your ideal client is asking and what services that you have or that you could create that would help them further. Because when you have your ideal client in mind, when it comes to developing and creating things for your business, then you really are able to really highlight the things that you can solve for them and be seen as an authority in your area. So a survey is a great way. A survey is a great way to get information from those who have bought from you in the past. And if you can use this data to pinpoint exactly who is most likely to buy your products and services or to interact with your content in future. So it is really useful to have this information. So one way to get the best from your survey is to start by asking questions about their basic demographics, like I mentioned earlier: where they live, are they married, do they have kids, what's their level of education. And you can use a free demographic survey template like SurveyMonkey, or you could use Typeform as well. And you can ask really probing questions about key issues and problems that they face so that you can better define how to help them. So if you can ask things about their challenges, what it was like for them before they worked with you, what it was like during your time together, or if they're continuous clients, how are they feeling since they started working with you? And really ask how and where your existing customers found out about you, so that you know what you need to do and where you need to be in order to attract more of those like-minded customers or clients. So really knowing how they found out about you is really useful, because say they found you on Facebook or Instagram, then you can focus targeted ads to similar like-minded customers or clients and really get out there in front of your ideal client in an easier fashion. So 5 questions to ask yourself when you're identifying your ideal client. So who do you want to work with, which is really important because you need to be able to resonate with the people that you're working with. What does your ideal client suffer from? So what is the challenge your ideal client is having? What challenges or ailments or conditions do they have that you can provide a solution for? So what is it that they suffer from that you can provide a solution to? What can you help your ideal client achieve? So what is it about your ideal client's current situation that you can help them with the most? What can you help them to achieve in their health, in their well-being, in their diet, in their chronic injuries? How can you solve their problem? What is it that you have in your arsenal, in your talents and abilities, or in your particular modality expertise that you can help them solve their problem? And then, of course, where do you find them? So where do you find them offline? Where do you find them online? So find them in your locality, find them online, and ask the questions of them that you will be able to solve a problem for. So if you're online and you see somebody asking a particular question, obviously try and provide an answer for them. If they live locally, then get them in front of you somehow and get them to come in and use your services. And then another question I often get asked is, what if I have more than one ideal client? What if I have different groups of people that I want to work with? And what I would say to that, to a lot of my clients, is I would start off with one ideal group of clients, one ideal client that you're focusing your marketing to, and you can add after that. So whatever ideal client you know you can help the most or is the biggest group for now, really focus all of your capabilities and abilities on focusing on that group of people first. After that, when you've got a really good group, a good idea of that first ideal client, and you have lots of those people coming to you, at that stage then you can start to specialize and maybe further niche down into another specific group of ideal clients. But the thing about having an ideal client is that if you have one major ideal client, you can focus all of your marketing and all of your sales and marketing and targeting on them, rather than diluting it by trying to be talking to 2 or 3 different groups at the same time and diluting your message. Because if people are confused as to who you work with, they may not think you are the person for them. Whereas if they think initially you have one particular group you work with and then maybe a subsection of that at a later stage, they'll understand that you're specializing. So final words on this particular module is to always think about your business with your ideal client in mind, and you will always attract them. Because if you think of the solutions you can provide for your ideal client and have that person in mind, it makes your marketing easier, it makes selling easier, and it means that you will be attracting those people to you because you will be focusing on their needs and their requirements and making sure that they are the people you have in mind first and foremost. So these are ways to get in touch with me if you have any questions on your ideal client or anything that you need to ask me. I'm available on my website, lynseyhanratty.com. You can email me at hello@lynseyhanratty.com, and you can also contact me by phone, by Instagram, and I'm also on Facebook as well. I hope this module was useful for you. Any questions, do feel free to get in touch.